Today, I'm going to show you how I built out my SUV for camping and for living. I do a lot of solo camping out of my Mazda CX-50, and for years I did it with a no-build setup that was not the most comfortable, but it was budget-friendly and did the trick. I finally decided I want to live out of my SUV, so I wanted to make things more comfortable and add some more storage now that I have a dog, and so I built something really simple and budget-friendly. First, I'm going to give you the tour, and then if you're interested, you can stick around and I'll show you how I built it. So first, the main part of my build is my bed. I knew I wanted it to have 3 features. So the first, obviously, is storage underneath the bed. 2, I wanted to be able to disassemble it and store it in my trunk when I'm not using it. And 3, I wanted there to be a pull-out cooktop. I took out the lower part of my back seat for this, which was already removable, but I kept the upper part because it was more complicated to remove. My SUV isn't as tall as, say, a 4Runner, so I knew that headroom would be an issue, and that was one of my top priorities. So I actually made the storage space underneath the bed pretty small. It's 4 inches in height, and I had pre-measured this and made sure that my camping gear would perfectly fit this height. And so this is the minimum and maximum amount of space that I needed under the bed to fit my things. If it looks like this isn't 4 inches, it's because it's not. It's because the back seat isn't level. So the back seat slopes down to the entrance of the hatch, and so this area is taller because I had to add spacers to the bottom of my platform to make it level. So starting off, the top of my platform is 3/4 inch birch plywood, and I made the top half narrower to accommodate the center console. The top half of the platform is secured to 2x4 legs and the bottom platform with removable flange bolts, which I saw in a bunch of YouTube videos, so I'll link the original below. But this allows me to take the bolts in and out, and so I can basically remove the top half of my bed and store it in the back of my trunk, and that's what makes this able to be disassembled. So for the cooktop, I used 1/2 inch plywood, and I didn't use anything fancy like drawer slides because I wanted to maximize the width of this, and drawer slides would take up like 1 inch total, I think. I wanted to make it as thin as possible to maximize my headroom, and 1/2 inch plywood was the shortest I could go without sacrificing sturdiness for when I put things on the surface. It just slides in and out with these handles that I attached. I made the cooktop as long as possible so that when I pull it out, the pressure of the back half pushing onto the top of the platform would keep it level, and it needs a lot of length for that to work, if that makes sense. And because I knew the cooktop would be adding pressure to the top of the platform, I made sure the 3/4 inch plywood was joined really well to the supporting wood. After testing out the cooktop though, I actually really regret not covering this with some sort of vinyl waterproof liner, and so I'm going to try to look into that and add that. Right now I'm using a washable mat because I've already spilled soup on here, so that's one thing to consider. You can definitely waterproof the wood. I actually really wanted to do this and planned it out and picked out polyurethane and prepped to sand and everything, but honestly I just didn't have the time with 2 jobs and raising a puppy. But if you want to waterproof your wood, you can definitely do this, and it's pretty easy if you look into it. Under the 3/4 inch plywood are 5/8 inch spacers to create a gap for the cooktop to pull out, and I chose 5/8 inch spacers because I wanted there to be a 1/8 inch gap for the cooktop to slide out and push back in, and for the wood to expand and shrink as needed. I also spaced the spacers out underneath the platform to create ventilation. And to find wood that was 5/8 inches thick, I honestly just went on my local hardware store's website and searched for it, and what came up was a 5/8 inch fence picket, and so I bought a single fence picket, and I believe this was American Western red cedar, and I just cut it to the size that I need. For spacers, I figured the type of wood didn't really matter too much. Underneath the cooktop is a 1/2 inch plywood base to support the weight of the cooktop and keep everything structurally sound. So the cooktop is essentially sandwiched between 3/4 inch plywood that I'm sleeping on and a 1/2 inch plywood base. Underneath all of this are 2x4 legs supporting the platform. And then because I wanted it to be super structurally sound, I added I don't know what to call it, just a piece of wood that goes down the entire length of the bed and width to hold the legs in place so it's not wobbly. I also designed drawers, so there's supposed to be a drawer that goes underneath my bed as well as in this corner, but I haven't built it yet because I wanted to test out the setup and see exactly how much stuff I have and how I want to organize it before committing to building a drawer of a certain size. And I also want to build shelves on this side side, I keep basically all of my stuff here in this corner, including my jackery, and I want to build some sort of shelves and drawers to enclose my jackery but give it a little bit of air gap so it can have some ventilation and store all the rest of my things. I also just got my puppy a few months ago and now I have all of his stuff, so I just want to see where I want to keep things first, and then based on that I'll build some sort of cubby system for the things I actually want to store in this corner versus behind the seats or under this bed. Beside me is my dog's bed, which I made level with the trunk of my car. I wanted it to be shorter than my bed so he had more headroom to stand up and stretch if he needed, but I actually kind of regret this because it ended up making his bed narrower, so he doesn't have as much room to stretch out during the ride or while sleeping width-wise, and he's getting bigger. He's gonna be 60 to 70 pounds when he grows up, so I actually might update this and make it level with my bed, so my bed kind of takes up the whole trunk so he has the whole back seat to spread out. But yeah, his bed is also removable and able to be disassembled, and it's connected to 2x4 legs. Behind the driver's seat there's not that much room, but I do store stuff down here, so I store my dog's towels down here in case he gets sick or muddy. I store my snowshoes back here and just miscellaneous items. But if I raise his bed, there will be more storage underneath as well. I also wanted to show you the storage I have underneath the bed. So in this awkward angled spot, this is usually where I store clothes and heavy jackets and such. And then behind the passenger seat, this is where I store all my water and other miscellaneous items. I know it doesn't look like much, but it feels like a lot of space for me compared to before. I also store my window shades in the pocket behind the passenger seat. Behind my dog's bed, I put a smaller dog bed to kind of extend his area a little bit. Behind that, I keep my jackery. It definitely needs more ventilation space, which I hope the shelving will help with to create air gaps around it. And then behind my jackery, I keep all my extra items. Right now, I just have firewood and a chair, but usually back here, I keep my kitchen stuff and other miscellaneous items. Like I said, I'm hoping to build some sort of drawer to keep my kitchen stuff and then put the jackery on top and store all my other items. And then I have my window shades and an extra winter blanket for my dog. So that's that for now. I didn't build anything in the front seat, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. This is where my puppy likes to sit when I drive. And then I added a pillow here just to kind of extend his space. And under this pillow, I have a little foldable storage container thing that I keep paper towels in, I keep my dog's treats in. Usually I store my Crocs, my hiking boots, and my Nalgene water bottles down here, just some miscellaneous items. So now I'll show you how I built this. So as a disclaimer, I've never built anything before this video, so everything I've learned has been purely on my own from the internet. What I did for my build may be wrong, and there might be ways to improve it from a woodworking standpoint that I'm not aware of, but I just wanted to show you what I did, and remember to always wear proper PPE and handle tools safely. I started off by drawing out my build, which has 5 parts. A is the bottom section of my bed, which includes a pull-out cooktop and open area at the bottom for a drawer. B is the top section of my bed that's a bit narrower to accommodate the driver's seat being further back than the passenger seat. C is my dog's bed. D is going to be a drawer for my kitchen items. And E is supposed to be shelves housing my jackery and other items. I started off by building A. First, by creating the box that would house the cooktop. To do this, I cut 5/8 inch spacers with a handsaw and used wood glue to adhere them to the 3/4 inch birch plywood that I'd be sleeping on, and I let it dry overnight. I don't own clamps, so I used dumbbells. I also added 3 more spacers after this, in between each of the spacers shown here, and I left the front open for the cooktop to slide in and out. The spacers at the back are perpendicular so that they can act as barriers to stop the cooktop from sliding forward when I brake. Next, I took the 1/2 inch birch plywood base and attached the 2x4 legs to it. I handsawed each individual 2x4 leg and attached it to the plywood with wood glue. Then I further joined them together with number 8 2.5 inch zinc flathead coarse thread wood screws, but I pre-drilled pilot holes first. I knew I'd be screwing multiple screws into each 2x4, so I'm drilling the pilot holes off center and marking where the screws will be for my future reference. Also, since I was planning to join more wood on top of the 1/2 inch plywood base, I needed to make the screws lie completely flat into the wood. But I don't own a countersink bit, so I took the largest bit I had and manually just dug out some wood on the surface and eyeballed it. And this ended up working well. Note to self, always make sure the drill is on the clockwise setting if I want to drill clockwise. Also, in case you didn't notice, I did this entire build in various parking lots with low traffic, and luckily no one said anything. It's pretty amazing what they'll let you do in a parking lot. And don't worry, I brought a brush, dustpan, and trash bag to clean the sawdust. Next, for extra stability, I added beams. I don't know the actual term, so I'm just calling them beams, but these are the pieces of wood that run along the length of the platform and along the back. These help provide stability so the platform isn't too wobbly. And again, I used wood glue first, then joined them with wood screws. And for this wood, I needed a precise height, so I just went on my local hardware store's website, and the only piece of wood with this height I found was an 8-foot long furring strip board, which is a soft wood, but I figured it should do fine. And these were screwed into the same 2x4 legs as before, and I made sure to drill into the opposite side of the 2x4 as the screws I already added. Next, I used wood glue to attach the 1/2-inch plywood base to the plywood with the spacers on it, and while it was drying, I added screws. So these screws went through the top plywood, the spacers, the bottom plywood, and then into the 2x4 legs to hold everything together, and I positioned the screws directly center into each 2x4 leg so that they wouldn't hit the other screws. And yes, it's possible I could have just used this one screw to hold everything together, but I wanted everything to be super stable, and I assumed adding more screws would make things more stable, and hopefully I'm not wrong, and hopefully it's not just making the 2x4 wood break apart in the future. Today's the last day of the build. Fingers crossed, hopefully. It's currently 27 degrees Fahrenheit. It's really chilly, but I want to get this done, so let's get to it. Testing it in my car was really exciting. Next, I measured and cut more 2x4 legs and attached these to the back of the platform. These legs are going to act as the ledge to connect the top half of the platform to the bottom half. And again, I used wood glue and then screwed them in. The biggest bit I have is, I think this is 1/8 inch, and I'm really hoping I can drill a hole for this. We're going to try. I had to run to the store and get a bigger bit for this step, but next I pre-drilled holes for the removable flange bolts, which will connect the plywood to the 2x4s, making the bed able to be disassembled. And now it was time to add it to my car and measure the height needed for the 2x4 legs so it would hold up the top of B or the top part of my bed. And I don't recommend drilling in your car, but I found this was the only way I could keep the platform level while drilling without finding another person to help me. And like I said earlier in the video, the backseat isn't level. So to level the platform, I cut a few small pieces of wood and wood glued them to the bottom of the platform. After double checking it was level, the bed was finished. It was so exciting. The last thing I did was I built my dog's bed, which was just 3/4 inch plywood supported by two 2x4 legs with the removable bolts. That's the build. This is my first time building anything, and honestly I'm really proud of myself and really happy with how it turned out. I hope it lasts a while, and if not, at least I know how to rebuild it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and I hope it inspires you to get out and go camping. Usually I make cinematic vlogs of my outdoor adventures, solo hiking or camping, so if you're interested in that, feel free to go check out my other videos. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, comment, share, or subscribe. Any of that really helps me out. I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!